Hey guys, I'm Luke Williams with Outdoors by Luke, and today I'm going to be showing you how to zero a rifle. Now, this doesn't have to be complicated, but some people make it complicated. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and we're going to make this as easy as possible. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your rifle shots on paper, meaning that you probably don't want to start at 100 yards. You actually want to start at about 25 yards, and you want to go ahead, take a shot on paper, and see where you're at. Now, we're not going to do that right now because you'll use the same steps at 25 yards that you will at 100 yards. So we're just going to go through this at 100 yards. Now, there's a couple of things you're going to need. First of all, you need a rangefinder so that you know where you're at. 25 yards, 100 yards, we are zeroing at 100 yards, and that's exactly where we're set up today. The next thing you're going to need is your rifle, obviously, but aside from your rifle is your ammo. Now this is important. You want to make sure that you're going to zero your rifle in with the ammo that you plan to use in the future. So I'm using Precision Hunter in my 6.5 Creedmoor. This is my Savage, this is my baby, this is my Deer Slayer. And so I want to make sure that I'm using my Precision Hunter when I'm zeroing this in. It's very important. Another thing you're going to need is a lead sled, some weight in your lead sled. If you don't have any weight, you can use like a ratchet strap and tie it down to the table. And then also a good table. This is very important because we want to make sure we have a solid shooting surface and our rifle is as stable as possible whenever we're sighting in this scope. All right, so that's simple, right? Let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna get some paper put on our target and then start shooting downrange. Okay, so I said before that getting this rifle zeroed in should be very simple, but some people make it complicated. Well, this is kind of where people make it complicated. You're gonna waste more ammo if you only put one shot downrange versus doing a grouping. So what we'll do is we're gonna take 3 shots and then we'll take the center of those 3 shots, and that's where we'll start to zero in our rifle from. So we'll get straight to it. Okay, before we start shooting, one last tip, make sure you use Splatter Targets. This is gonna make it way easier to find your shot on target, especially if you don't have a spotting scope or a long reach scope like I have here on the Vortex Diamondback. All right, now that you've taken your 3-shot group, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and line up your rifle right with the center of your target, right where you were just aiming. And now what we're going to do is using your turrets, your up and down and your left and right, we're going to go ahead and change this to where the center of your scope is now going to be the center of that 3 group that you just shot. Now, here's another way to think about this in case you don't just want to play around. If you shoot left and a little bit high, so that's where we were left and high, in order to move that shot back to center, that's exactly how you're gonna think about it, moving your shot to center. So if we're left and high, we're gonna change the scope down and to the right. So think about it just as if you're moving the impact hole on your target to the center of the target. How would you do that? Now, how many clicks is the big question. That's why I like zeroing stuff at 100 yards. Your scope is going to tell you usually on top that 1 click equals 1/4 MOA or 0.25 MOA. What that means is essentially that's going to be 1/4 of an inch. So 4 clicks is going to be a full inch. This is why I like using the splatter targets that have squares on them. They're 1-inch squares. It makes it very easy to go ahead and get those numbers and do that quick and easy math. So we know that we're a little high and a little left. So we know we're going to bring our scope to the right and down. So let's go ahead and get that dialed in. Now, we're just gonna repeat the process. We're gonna go ahead and find the center of that 3 group, and we're gonna move this up and fine tune. I've got all 3 shots in the red, so I'm real close. We're probably only talking about a click or 2 up and a click or 2 to the left. All right, now on that one, I brought it down probably a little too much, so I'm a little bit low, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring my shots back up. So I brought this back up 2 clicks, and we're gonna go ahead and put 3 more shots downrange real fast and see if that puts us right where we need to be. All right, now I've got everything lined up in my bullseye. We're gonna aim for the second target, which is a fresh target, and make sure that this bullet goes exactly where I'm aiming it. Well, You really can't get any better than that. And that's how you zero in a rifle. Now, you may have some questions. I know, especially if you're new in the gun world, you're trying to figure all this out. Adjusting your scope can be a little bit mind-boggling because it can get you all turned around sideways and backwards. So if you got any questions, make sure you ask them in the comments below, guys. We'd love to help you out. And if you're an experienced gun owner, you know the ins and outs, please let's help the ones that are learning, because after all, we want as many people in this club as we can get, and we want them to be safe and be trained and understand how to use their firearms. Guys, make sure you're hitting subscribe down below. That subscribe button, hit it, press it hard, so that you can follow along with all the videos that I'll be bringing, everything from camping to shooting. Thanks so much for watching. This is Outdoors by Luke.